Rain fell in jagged sheets, slapping the cracked city streets like tiny fists of glass. The wind screamed, tossing litter and umbrellas into impossible arcs. Amid the chaos, a little boy huddled against the corner of a dimly lit cafe, his tiny hands wrapped around his trembling baby sister. Her cheeks were flushed red, lips blue, and her little body shivering like a leaf in a storm. He tugged at his thin jacket, but it did nothing against the cold. Sir, my baby sister, she's freezing." His voice was raw, cracking with desperation, barely audible over the rain and the distant wail of a siren. His eyes, big, pleading, and wet, locked onto a man stepping out of a sleek black car, umbrella in hand, the polished shoes and tailored coat unmistakable. The boy's heart pounded so hard he thought it might burst. Could this stranger help him? Would he even notice? The CEO froze mid-step, the umbrella tilting slightly in the wind. His mind, usually sharp and calculating, skipped a beat. There was a small child, soaked, teeth chattering violently, and a baby clutched in his arms, tiny, fragile, helpless. The city had a million faces passing by, but this one begged for him in a way no boardroom ever could. Have you ever seen someone plead with you for life itself? That raw vulnerability, the quiet scream of innocence. He knelt slowly, careful not to startle them. Hey there, it's okay. You're safe now," he said, voice gentle but firm. The boy flinched, unsure if the stranger was friend or enemy. "Your sister, she's freezing, sir. Please, can you help us?" The words hit harder than a punch. For a moment, the CEO felt his chest tighten, memories surfacing of his own sister, long gone, left behind in a world that didn't care. The rain, the city lights, the wailing car horns, all faded to a blur as instinct took over. Without thinking, he shrugged off his coat and draped it over the trembling siblings. The boy looked up, eyes wide, a flicker of hope breaking through the fear. Thank you, sir," he whispered. The baby stirred slightly, tiny whimpers escaping, and the boy pressed closer, feeling the warmth of the coat, first comfort in hours. But the storm wasn't over. From down the street came shouting voices, neighbors, maybe, or trouble drawn to vulnerability. The boy stiffened. They'll take her, sir, they'll take her if we stay here." His small hands gripped the coat edges desperately. The CEO assessed the scene, the rain-soaked streets, the looming danger. In that moment, decisions didn't involve profits, deals, or prestige. They involved life, and the raw, urgent need to protect. He offered a hand. "Come with me." Now, as they moved toward the car, the boy glanced back at the swirling chaos behind them. Could he trust this stranger? Could he imagine leaving everything familiar, even if unsafe, in the hands of someone unknown? "Sir, my mom, she's gone. It's just us now." The words were a quiet avalanche of grief and fear. The CEO's jaw tightened, a flash of anger at the world mixing with his determination. No child should ever feel so alone, shivering on the sidewalk while the world walks past. Inside the car, the warmth from the heater enveloped them. The baby's tiny fingers curled around the CEO's coat, as if sensing the barrier between her and the cold was absolute. The boy's eyes met his. Will we be okay? Can you imagine feeling that kind of helplessness? That terrifying weight of responsibility resting on your shoulders when all you want is warmth, safety, and a chance to survive. The CEO didn't answer with words. He only drove. The city streets blurred past, reflections in puddles casting the night into fractured light. Every turn, every stop, every rain-slicked curb held the possibility of something worse, but also, maybe, a chance at safety, at something resembling hope. And yet, even in the warmth of the car, the silence between them was heavy. He knew this night would mark something. A memory etched into his chest, alongside every child he had ever ignored, every life counted in dollars, not human hearts. Tonight, that would change. Outside, the rain continued to lash the streets, the world oblivious to the small drama unfolding in the black sedan. Inside, two children clung to warmth, and one man carried a weight he had never expected, but also a purpose he had never known. And somewhere deep down, behind the boardrooms, behind the suits, behind the power, he understood that real life was measured in moments like this. Not deals, not profits, not accolades, but in small hands pressed into his coat, in shivering cheeks, in whispered prayers that someone would care. The car turned a corner, heading towards somewhere safe, but the journey was far from over. Questions lingered. Where would they go? Could a stranger truly protect them? And most importantly, could he protect the fragile hope of 2 lives that the storm had thrown in his path? Have you ever felt that kind of responsibility, sudden and terrifying, for someone not your own? The kind that presses on your chest, mixes fear with courage, and leaves you changed forever. The headlights cut through the rain, illuminating puddles that reflected a fractured world. The boy's hand pressed against the baby, holding her closer. The CEO's eyes stayed fixed on the road, mind spinning with possibilities and fears. Outside, the city roared, indifferent. Inside, hearts beat fast with the fragile pulse of trust, hope, and the promise of warmth against the cold. And then, as the car drove into the night, he realized something profound. Sometimes the smallest voices carry the loudest cries for help, and sometimes, it only takes one willing heart to change everything. The car moved steadily through the slick streets, the rain now a rhythmic drum against the roof. Inside, the little boy held his sister close, her tiny body warming slowly under the CEO's coat. The child's small whimpers had softened to occasional sighs, but the tension in the boy's shoulders had not eased. Every shadow in the streets seemed to carry danger. Every passing face held the unknown. Where are we going? The boy finally asked, voice small but steady, curiosity peeking through fear. The CEO glanced at him, his usually confident, polished face softening in the rearview mirror. Somewhere safe. Somewhere you and your sister can stay warm. The boy's lips trembled, his mind struggling to comprehend. Safe? Like, really safe? The CEO nodded. I promise. No one will hurt you. Not tonight, not ever if I can help it. Have you ever experienced a moment when the world feels unbearably big, and yet one person's presence makes it feel smaller, safer, almost possible? The boy did now. They drove through quiet side streets, passing shuttered shops and glowing apartment windows. The baby stirred again, eyes half open, tiny fingers clutching at the coat. The boy pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. Don't be scared, little one, he whispered. He's helping us. The CEO felt a pang in his chest, sharp as ice. He realized how fragile life was, how easily children could be left to the elements, how quickly innocence could be threatened. And he knew, with absolute clarity, that tonight wasn't about deals, contracts, or headlines. It was about saving lives, restoring hope, and showing that kindness could still exist in a world that often forgot it. The car slowed, pulling into the driveway of a modest apartment building. The lights glowed warmly, a stark contrast to the cold, merciless streets outside. He helped the children out, the boy clutching his sister tightly, the baby now asleep in his coat. He carried them inside, each step deliberate, careful, protective. Inside, he made them hot cocoa, blankets, and a safe space on the living room floor. The boy sat cross-legged, watching every movement, absorbing the care and attention as though it were a lifeline. You're really helping us, he said quietly, awe and disbelief in his voice. Why? The CEO paused, leaning against the kitchen counter. Because no one should feel this alone. No child should have to shiver in the rain and wonder if someone cares. He looked at the little faces before him and realized that sometimes, humanity was measured not in fortunes, but in small, selfless acts. As the night deepened, the baby stirred again, finally opening her eyes. She blinked at the warmth, the coziness, and the unfamiliar, protective presence around her. The boy smiled softly, brushing a damp strand of hair from her face. See, he's not going anywhere. The CEO watched them, a strange mix of fulfillment and vulnerability washing over him. Life had taught him to expect control, to anticipate outcomes, to value results. But tonight, he learned something else: the courage to care, the bravery to act, and the profound impact of a single choice. Hours passed quietly. The storm outside abated, leaving only the whisper of dripping water from rooftops. The boy finally relaxed, lying beside his sister, their breaths even and calm. The CEO sat back, exhausted but profoundly changed. He realized that wealth, power, and influence could never replace the simple, undeniable weight of humanity, the capacity to protect